Is it working? There we go.
Hello, Internet. Now please hold on to your butt as two comedians attempt to talk about serious subjects in a not so serious manner. From the mysterious to the utterly vicious, everything is fair game. This is the Kill Them With Comedy podcast, featuring true crime, amazing events, conspiracies, unsolved mysteries, and an array of weird and wonderful topics, all for your enjoyment. You're welcome. Hello and welcome everyone to the show where two comedians attempt to talk about serious subjects in a not so serious manner. I am the creative juggernaut behind all things KD comedy and your comedic babyface Kd Hinken, and I am joined as ever by my fellow funny friend from around the comedy circuit. He is the head pope of the comedy parish, the creator of the post-apocalyptic metal trio sketch show, and the man of 1,000 voices, and not all of them are in his head. Please welcome Mr. Nathan Parish. Nathan, say hello to the
How's
people.
it going? How's it going? Are you having a good time? I'm not. Nah, to be fair, it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
I'm having a very good time, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm here now. I get to relax now and chill. I've been staring at goddamn financial tables all goddamn day. I was never that great at maths. Well, actually, I'm not terrible at it, but like I can't be bothered with this shit.
See, I know you're in, like, your job is more like manual labor. So have you been lifting up financial tables?
No. I'm self-employed, mate. So you got to go through all the different things. You've got to make sure you've got all your numbers written down.
Yeah.
You've got to send it to them every month. You've got to get a little bit of money back, and I can't be bothered with it.
This is the shit.
And yeah, I'm starting my own business alongside the self-employed stuff. So obviously, I'm a glutton for punishment. So.
I mean, that would be the same thing anyway, wouldn't it? I assume.
Yeah, well, it's the production company anyway. It's basically just going to be for the shit that we're already doing, basically.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Which makes a portfolio at the same time, which is cool.
Yeah.
Not going to get into anything, but sometimes people starting out, if you want to do something for free, you haven't got the money to pay them. Someone else could do for free. You put the things together and then you make something, try and get some money, build a portfolio. Some people don't like that. I'm not going to get into that now.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into that now. Anyone that's aware of what I'm talking about, you've seen the offer I've made to that particular comedian in question on Thursday at 8. Wherever you're watching this, it will be available then. If he has the balls to come and talk to me, and I'd rather just, to be honest, a nice conversation, just clear the air and figure out more than anything what his point is, because I don't understand it at all. He's just attacking. But how are you, Nathan?
Okay, I'm fine. Yeah. It sounds like you've had a more interesting week than I have.
The last couple of days have been interesting. I'm not going to get into it. And
that's fine. Yeah.
Someone in the comedy circuit and stuff. It's just awkward, ain't it?
Okay. Yeah, I've just been, doing the same shit I always do.
Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
I'll figure it out at some point.
No. But the only reason I'm making a point of it now, though, is obviously the Katie's Comedian Quiz Off 20, the Christmas special, is coming this Wednesday. So, but unfortunately, this is actually the last time that I will be appearing live before that, because I'm stepping down as host for that quiz. And I'm allowed to take over for one night only, the one and only, taking over a special guest quiz for the KD Comedian Quiz Off 20, the Christmas special, one and only KD Claus. He will be appearing for you all. KD Claus will be there with a full face of facial hair and whatnot.
Thank fuck.
And I hope you all enjoy it. You'll be there too, Nathan.
Yeah. KD Claus, the king of all that is Christmas.
The king of all that is Christmas.
Yeah.
But ignoring that, the monolith thing we've been talking about on it. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new stuff that's appeared with it?
No. The last I saw was the one popping up in Los Angeles or something like that, and then I stopped paying attention.
Yeah. No, same pretty much. But then I saw something else pop up. We were talking about Colombia last week, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, the Colombia coke killings. Yeah.
Coca-Cola stuff. Well, ironically, this one being found in Colombia, but this one is a bit different. It's made of gold,
Right.
and apparently it's what what was it? Oh, the headline that I saw that was on about it. It said something about is this the king of the alien monoliths? This one, the head monolith. Like,
A fucking gold monolith. That is a serious power play. Like a rich man's money move, that. It's like, oh yeah, let's just make one that's gold and call it quits. No one can ever beat that again. That'll end it quite happily.
I was thinking about this. I was like, I wonder if it's just colored gold, because surely if it was solid gold, there ain't no way that thing is staying in place in Colombia, of all places.
Not a second. Yeah.
No.
Unless it's owned by like a cartel leader. And everyone around there knows, but they're just not saying anything because they know they get their nads chopped off or something. You know what I mean?
Owned by Coca-Cola, which we learned last week in your story. It's pretty much the same thing.
Basically, exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, that was good story. Anyone doesn't know what I'm about, go back to last week episode.
Yeah, it's well worth watching that one, in my personal opinion.
I enjoyed that, man.
Yeah.
But, this week, then, obviously, we're doing it live just because we were busy and it's the only thing we could do.
Yeah.
And it saved either of us any work in regards to editing or whatnot, so that's good too.
Yeah, it's just smooth, you know. And as I said to Carl on the messages, you know, fuck it, we'll do it live.
I didn't understand that reference, but I like it.
If anyone gets that, then I like you. And you can stay and be my friend.
I like that reference. So, but this week then, so it was you that went first last week, weren't it? I believe so. It'd be me this.
I believe
first.
so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just. I've got all my.
Oh, we're getting straight into the grisly bits of this. This is interesting.
It's live, man. I felt like we had to do a bit more punchy, get going with it. You know. Yeah, man. Drink the whiskey a bit quicker, smoke the vape closer, and then you drinks a bit quicker. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do need to have a drink again soon. So after all this, man, totally got me. I'm get drunk.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait. That's the other thing as well. The vaccine stuff happening again. Like there's, you know, the new one's finally gone out, and that means we've got 2 working at the moment. Happy about that.
Oh, really? Because I know, is this why I've been seeing? Because obviously the Pfizer one, is this what the biotech thing is? I keep seeing.
Yeah, I think it's the other one. Yeah, and like, yes, just fucking yes.
Yes.
More of that, less of everything else.
No, it's cool because it's now got to the point like I saw today, wasn't it? The first people in the GPs were getting it, in the GP doctors, you know, the normal. Yeah,
it's brilliant. I can't wait, man. I like. Yeah, I just want this to be over. And now with like the new version of the virus that's out apparently in the south that's spreading quicker than the previous ones.
What is this? Because you know me, I sleep through most of the day, so I've only heard little bits about this. So if you know anything about it, fill me in, please.
Yeah, so apparently it's been detected. I'm not sure if it was detected here first, but it's been detected in the south of the UK the most, and it's sort of spreading faster and more virulently than the previous ones did. So it's sort of more infectious.
And it's the same thing.
The same thing. They think the vaccine will still work against it because, again, most of these vaccines are trying to go against the proteins on the outside more than the actual sort of core of the thing itself.
I was saying before about the the mBNA thing now. And I feel I was about to say mDNA, but that sounds way too much like a drug. So I'm not sure. It's a drug though, either way.
Yeah, there's whatever it is, the RNA proteins, I think it is, with a virus that stick on the outside they need to deal with.
Yeah.
And
it's just basically tickling your immune system rather than in the past when they would put a virus into you. This is now putting something into you that will tickle your immune system. Be like, come on, make those proteins pop up. And those
just give them a little fondle.
Little tick. Like a hairy beard on a anyway. But you know, I like that as well. Which, like we were saying before, could be a reason as to why the stuff went through quicker. It's a different technology. Never before has it been a situation where there's every single one of these companies have been going to one particular end goal, you know, just for more than anything to get money, like you were saying.
Yeah. They don't have people having accidents. They don't have people getting random infections because everyone's stuck in their houses doing nothing. And they really hate that. They want you sick. They want you hurt. And they
not
want to make it happen profitably. And COVID ain't profitable.
And people aren't going to the hospital as well, you know, like we said, because staying away from the hospital, which obviously I get that,
Yeah, so just less business all round for drug companies. And so it's in their vested interest to make this happen and make it work. You know?
Yeah, and I mean, even ignoring that as well, just for the simple fact that whoever makes this vaccine first or made it first, it was safe and it proves to work over a long, you know, obviously we're at the beginnings of it actually being used on the population, etc., etc. If you're watching this in the future, we're alive,
God damn it.
or because I'm tired.
Thank you.
It's cool. If you're watching this in the future, then you're either, you know, all healed, cool, or you've all got wings. Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, I don't mind having wings.
No, I forgot my point now. What was I saying?
The point is basically that there's a reason why this is out so fast. There's a reason why people want it sorted, and ultimately, all we can do is just hope it all works as soon as possible.
Going by the evidence so far, there's no reason it shouldn't work. So what can we do? Just go forward, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Talking about going forward, my man, shall we get into the stories then?
Yes, sir.
Look at me, I'm the fucking Segway senorita today. Why senorita? What did I say, senorita? Why did I use a girl in that? Whatever. 2020.
So quickly blow my nose.
Cool. I'm just covering up the sound.
Off mic and off camera like a pro.
Yeah. At least I don't have to go through cutting out my ums and your sniffles this week. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I get real bad problems with allergies. I think it's something to do with spores and fungus, which probably says more about me than I'm willing to share.
I had it the other day on something. I can't remember what it was now. I was like just sniffling the whole time. I can't remember what it was, but that was the cocaine more than anything, of course.
Yeah, well, you know.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Oh,
anyway,
shit. Did you see Chappelle's thing about that? Sorry.
No.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle did a bit that he put out on YouTube recently where he was talking about the Chappelle Show, you know. And
I saw something pop up. I didn't know what it was about. Yeah,
it's worth watching because it's you know when he sort of goes into one of his deep bits mid flow and it sort of tells this really strong story and it's still funny because it's Dave Chappelle and Dave Chappelle is the motherfucking goat.
Yeah, I would like getting into him, so yeah, I understand.
He's so good, man. And so he's basically talking about how the Chappelle Show got ripped away from him, how he sort of lost control over it, and how he never ultimately got paid for the goddamn show. And he was like, oh yeah, so HBO are now playing the Chappelle Show and they're going like, oh, they're earning huge amounts of money. And HBO originally told Dave Chappelle, no one wants this show, get out of our office.
Yeah,
and now they bought the rights off of Comedy Central to play the Chappelle Show on HBO Max or whatever it is.
I'm guessing because was that more like a cult classic in the sense that it got more popular later on?
Not even that. It was huge at the time, dude. Absolutely huge at the time. Dave Chappelle quit that show when it was at the top of its game.
I know, before he had a chance to go stale.
No, well, basically because all of the executives at Comedy Central were going like, we'd like you to do this kind of thing with the show, and we'd like you to do that kind of thing with the show, and it was no longer Chappelle's show.
Yeah,
you know,
it got too successful to the point that they wanted it to be a vehicle. Yeah.
So basically, he was talking about the fact that he never really got paid for it, and it wasn't fair, and he still thinks it's ridiculous to this day. But because he signed the contract when he was, a kid starting up, that's it. He was screwed.
You'd think there'd be some way you could argue that now. Like, it's a different point. Like, you know.
Yeah. You'd think, but apparently not, because it was in perpetuity across all of this universe or something like that. Really, like weirdly obsessive wording. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
In the contract.
yeah, and basically, what happened in the end was like Netflix was showing the Chappelle show at the same time, and he goes, "That's the reason why I love working with Netflix, because I went to Netflix and I said, okay, running the Chappelle show on Netflix sort of hurts me a bit, because like I never got paid for that. That never became mine. It's it feels wrong for it to share the space with the stuff that I've done now." And Netflix went, "Yeah, okay," and took it off.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and they'd paid millions for that, no doubt, millions to get it to run. And
they just sold it on to
worth
someone
more
else.
to us than that.
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's like backing your artist days. I like that.
It really is. And and at the end of it, Chappelle basically just goes, "If you really like me, if you really love me as a comedian, never watch the Chappelle show."
Yeah, if you want to support him.
Yeah, and he said, "Until I get my money."
I can imagine exactly how he said that. Yeah.
It's so fucking good, man. I love it. And it's just this warning of like, maintain control over your own stuff as much as you can. And as soon as anyone tries to wrestle it away from you.
Well, as far as I know, because I used to work in this like media company quite a few years back. It was run by some lawyer people, and they told me that an easy way to do copyright, it's legal in England. I don't know about the whole UK, but yeah, it must be actually legal in the UK. Is to make something, put it on like a disc or memory stick or whatever.
Put it in a thing, mail it to yourself. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
because then you've got proof of when it was made. Yeah. Special delivery, so it's got the exact time and stuff of when it was posted and all that kind of stuff. You've got a barcode to yeah. My dad told me that because he was in a band called the Hamsters. They were voted the hardest working band in Britain at one point.
Oh, bad. Okay.
By Top Gear magazine, no doubt. And and he always told me that's the way they did it as well. They sort of, there you go.
Yeah. I can only imagine that's still the case now. Then if it was been around for that long, then as well. I don't know what you want about it.
It's just the best way to do it, because it is a sealed proof that something was made when you said it was. And if no one's got anything earlier than that, you're the winner.
I mean, I imagine nowadays it'd be quite easy to argue stuff if it's been shown on Facebook or something before the date. Do you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You can easily sort of identify now where things originate from, because you can just see when things were uploaded to a certain extent. But
yeah.
It's probably still quite nice to have that for certain things, like really big projects. Yeah.
No, definitely.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay then. No. We're talking about all the stupid stuff in laws and all that, and that kind of fits into my story this time again. To be honest with you, you might have heard of this, or you might recognise it as we go through. I did when I saw it on. It was on ITV. That's Susanna Reid, the person that deals with Piers Morgan at 6 a.m. in the morning. So she's a fucking G.
Yeah.
She was talking. What was that? They were on about
much respect.
Yeah. But so this is the story anyway of Darlie Routier. Sorry, this is the story of Darlie Routier. Okay, and just double checking. Yeah, so what I am going to do first of all, actually, just to give you a bit of background. So this is 1996, Rolette, Texas. In the house, 3 children, mom and a dad. The dad is upstairs with the one child. Don't know why. I think he was feeling ill or something like that, or the other kids are feeling ill, because the mom is downstairs on the settee with the other 2 children.
Okay.
I think that's everything. We'll find out when I play this 911 call anyway that was received, and let's get going.
Oh shit.
Ma'am?
Okay, so initial thoughts? Any?
I hope I'm not jumping the gun here, but there was something fucked about that's not right.
Okay. So should we start first of all then with what Darley said to
Yeah, let's start with what Darley said happened.
Okay. So she said she was awakened by Damon's cries of "Mommy, Mommy." This is not a lot of this was easy to write, and I've skipped around a lot of these stuff with the kids because my kids, I'm like, oh, it's hard to.
Yeah.
Blah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So she was waking up by Damon's one of the children that were downstairs, I assume. Cries, "Mommy, Mommy" in the dark. She didn't notice this at first. Anything. Yes, she saw a man moving through the kitchen and followed him as she went towards the garage. When she got to the utility room, she saw a knife and picked it up. Only then, she said, did she return to find Devon and Damon and realise that she had been stabbed too. Darley's I never noticed his name before. Darley's husband, Darwin. So it's Darwin and Darley. Darwin and Darley and Damon and Devon so far.
Hey.
God, this
How do you
family
keep track of that shit? Jesus Christ. I mean, it's terrible, but yeah, you know.
Anyway, when she got, where did I get? Darley's husband, Darren, who was sleeping upstairs with their infant son, Drake, so 5D so far, he came downstairs after hearing his wife's screams and began administering CPR to Devon. By then, the assailant had already disappeared. Okay, I feel like I'm forgetting stuff there, but that's the basic thing anyway. She said that she woke up. There was somebody there attacking the one child, had already attacked the other child, I believed. Quite forceful, went straight through the body, pretty much the knife did, long knife. Yeah, and then, she chased him to the utility room. And then that's pretty much it. She came back, realised she had been stabbed too. He came down, tried to save them, etc., etc. Then she called the police. 12 days after Damon's and Devon's death, the police arrested Darley for their murders. They had no eyewitnesses, no confession, and no motive. But what they did have was an intriguing trail of circumstantial evidence that suggested there was no intruder that night. Physical evidence suggesting that Darley had staged the crime, and a peculiar scene caught on videotape a few days after the murder. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is more to show as well. I'm going to just give you everything first. So she was arrested and stuff for, charged and that. She went to trial, etc. And this is where obviously most of the stuff came out about it. The jury were shown a few different things, and this coming up now was one of the videos they were shown during the case. Just make sure I've got the
They're up in heaven, and they're up there having the biggest birthday party that we could ever imagine.
The Routier family spent Friday at the tiny grave the brothers share, celebrating what would have been Devon's 7th birthday. The boy's mother, who survived the brutal attack, says now her family faces rumors they were somehow involved.
We're not going to make an issue out of this because anybody that knows us knows how we were, how we lived.
Your sweetest memory of these boys is what?
I've got a lot of sweet memories. I could talk to you for days and days and days. You'd have to come and come and move in. But,
come and move in.
Yeah, that was fucked, man. Like both of them were like dead eyes, dude. As soon as you see the dude like from a distance, he looks fairly normal. Then it goes up close, like, yeah, okay, yeah,
Darling.
Problem. Yeah, fuck, man. No one should be.
See,
I go anywhere near that family.
I
certainly needs to go nowhere near their garbage disposal.
He has not been mentioned. This is the one thing I wasn't going to mention till the end, but you've kind of brought it up here. He is not mentioned much throughout the story. What they thought about him, what he was doing, why people aren't talking about, why he didn't hear things. Yeah. I don't get that.
Yeah,
I'm glad we're on the same line here.
Yeah, like there's a certain after a while with these things when you do them enough, you start to think like, I see a pattern with this bitch.
But there is more though. It carries on.
Yeah.
It's interesting because but anyway then, so here's Dallas County Assistant District Attorney Greg Davis, the lead prosecutor in the case, said after that, he is a mother who has supposedly been a victim of a violent crime. She has just lost 2 children, and yet she's out literally dancing on their graves a few days later.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that was days later. I thought she'd at least given it months.
No, that was about 5 days later or something, I believe.
Fucking hell!
And shows how superficial her wounds were. That's something I forgot to mention. The wounds she received in regards to their wounds, the children, were very superficial. It was a cut,
just
like a long
cuts.
tear. Reasonably deep, but there was apparently, I think it says it in a minute. Let me just check actually. I'm pretty sure it does say it, so I can probably read the proper thing over it. Yeah, her wounds are mainly superficial. Gashes on her arms and her throat were cut by expert testified that there were hesitation marks in the cut, which indicates they were self-inflicted. You know, you'd go to cut and you'd be like, do it.
Yeah.
But it was quite deep, and it was inches away from a carotid artery. But
yeah,
I doubt she's in.
But that, you know, if you're not a medical expert, you don't know that's there. You're going to scratch across there and just go, "That'll be fine."
And you want to make it look believable too.
Yeah.
So investigators were confused as to how someone could attack both her children before she woke up because she was so close to them. This is the evidence against her, the physical evidence. The droplets of blood were inconsistent with swipes of a flailing knife with blood on it, like would be consistent
in an
her
attack. Yeah.
And
also, she would get her hands cut. If you're trying to defend someone with a knife, your hands are the things that get attacked, not just.
I know she'd been attacked before she woke up, from the sounds of it, or she didn't know if she'd been attacked, or either way.
How do you sleep through a stabbing? Let's.
Maybe not. She could have got up and then he did it, maybe, because people do not notice sometimes. Have you ever saw the video of the guy that walks into a supermarket with a knife sticking out his head? He has no idea.
Oh yeah, that dude's much respect to that dude. Although to be fair, I have had something similar when I was a kid. Like I was walking along in a science lesson, and I had like a stapler, and for some reason I had the stapler open, and I just sort of was holding it in my hand, and I was just walking along, and I was like, just tapping along with myself, and like, a click. Oh shit! And it gone between the 2 bones. I couldn't close my thumb. I had to pull it out, and then it moved again.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, yes.
I'm guessing you didn't know it as well.
Yeah, it's only after you pulled it out you're like, that fucking kills.
I remember a memory from being young too, when I had my hand on like a door frame and the door slammed shut. And I was like, it really hurt, but it's not too bad. That's fine. Looked at it, a bit swollen, quite young. And then I remember someone pointed out the other side to me, and I looked and I was like, or cut up. And then, I might have
I had one of those. I had one of those with this finger here. I'm not sure. You probably can't see the discoloration. It sort of died out over time. But I slammed that in a soundproof door, like in the sort of the hinge of the door, and I heard the door click closed, and then I opened it and got it out. Still played my bass afterwards because I was in a punk band and we're hardcore.
Yeah. So your fingerprints might have been a bit messed up from that then, but her fingerprints were okay. They were found on the knife that I used to attack her. See what I did there?
That was the other weird thing. That's the thing that I was going to point out before, is the fact that she says on the call, mid-call, I've grabbed it, I've put my hands on it, maybe it's got my fingerprints on it now, or we could have got them off. It's like no one in the middle of their kids getting killed has that on their mind at all.
I mean, generally thinking, you'd imagine most wouldn't. Some might, I can understand.
Maybe, but not in that way. Not in that sort of logical, trying to get you off of it kind of way. It was like, follow me on this so that I'm not the one who you're going to suspect. You know what I mean?
At the same time, though, her fingerprints would have been on it anyway because it was from in the house. Do you know what I mean?
So she needn't have said it anyway, but the very mentioning of it is almost adding extra to it. Yes,
Or
I like this.
the other side of it because it says, that she would have no, she wouldn't think like that. I know what I mean. But there was
I know. Yeah.
There was also, interestingly though, there was a rip on the screen door, but they proved that they found fibers on a kitchen bread knife that was in the kitchen, that it was used to cut open the screen from the outside, which is totally inconsistent with her story. Because not only does that mean someone outside used the bread knife to get in, but it means they got into the house, got the bread knife, went outside, cut open the screen door. So they got into the house from other way first, creeped around the sleeping children and the adult, got the bread knife, got out again, went to the screen door, cut it open, then went in and attacked them.
I mean, come on.
She could only
seriously. At least Madeleine McCann's parents had the fucking nous to leave the door open. Come on, at least give them an opportunity to believe you, for fuck's sake.
Oh man, it's just nothing about it, and nothing about it is going well for her at all. She didn't. No. My ongoing thing with stuff like this, people are dumb. So let me do the last few bits here. This, along with the manner in which she was acting, caused them to arrest Darlie for the murders. But it is fair to say that not everyone acts in the same way during grief, as you would expect. But public opinion was already against her at this point. After being charged, she was tried for the murder of just one of the kids with the death penalty on the table. They were showing the video that we was on about earlier, the one that we shown of her on the graves. It was also discovered a tube sock with both the kid's blood on the sock and with Darlie's DNA on it. But quite a lot of her DNA was found in an alley 3 or 4 houses away, something like that. God knows what that's about.
Why?
The noise from the house. Already said that. Contraption, but I'm not going to mention all that because it is not needed now. So, the 4th of February 1997, she was found guilty for the murder of her 2 sons, technically one of them, sentenced to death. At no point during the trial was there any evidence uncovered that in any way corroborated her story. Probably, because she made it up.
Yeah, likely. Yeah.
Or did she?
Oh, fucking no.
Or did she?
What's going on now? Is this going to be a big sudden? But it turns out there was actually a Mr. Bean style guy who walked in and used the bread knife to open the door and then come back in. Is there someone framing this bitch? Is this what's happening? I don't know what the fuck is going on no more.
Let me tell you, sir. So this was 1996. One thing we have learned from doing all these kind of things, and just if you have any interest in true crime and all that kind of stuff, you learn that a lot of the time, a lot of these weird stories come from the police or the lawyers not doing their job properly or doing it well, if you're a lawyer.
Having an assumption and then running with it.
Yeah. But anyway, so first little bit that proves maybe she didn't do it. The jury were not given the full story with the video they were shown, the one at the kids' grave. They only received part of the video, whereas there was more to it. It was taken very much out of context. So I'm going to play this little bit now to give you a bit more context, and then we'll talk about it after.
The family is upset that prosecutors plan to use against Routier a videotape shot by Texas News 5. It shows Routier joyfully celebrating her son's birthdays only a few days after their deaths. Aiken says it was simply Darlie's way of helping the neighborhood kids get over the tragedy.
Darlie and Darren felt like this is something that, for the emotional support for the children in the neighborhood that love these kids, that were in and out of their house constantly, a party had to be held so these children could adjust.
So
maybe.
But there's more, just to clarify.
Okay.
So it was a memorial. Basically, they had a solemn prayer thing and all that nice, quiet stuff beforehand.
Okay.
And then this was the party part after the celebration for their birthday because it was so close. Yeah. Some of the jurors that had been spoken to since the trial, where she was found guilty and sentenced to death, stated that if they'd seen the full version of this during trial, very much they may have not found her guilty, because that was a big decider on it, the way she acted in that video, especially.
But that husband, though, why that husband got those creepy eyes, though?
Why? Maybe she did to him.
I don't trust that dude.
Like we said earlier as well, there was also the fact that the wounds she received were inches away from the carotid artery, which very easily could have killed her. Apparently, it was this dainty little necklace that stopped it. I don't know, but you know, there was no motive. They were found in financial struggle. They were found to be in financial struggles, but she would have received a hell of a lot more if she had offered her husband. If she had offered her husband instead. Sorry, it's just how I wrote it. The jury,
sort of a life insurance scam. Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly, money, like we said at the beginning, you know, money.
Yeah.
The jury. Okay, yeah. The jury were also not told. You know what? I'm going to say this over a bit first, actually.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just deciding which. Okay, no, you know what? I'll do how I've written it. Okay. So one thing that her lawyers should have hopefully did argue the hell about, otherwise she needs new fucking lawyers, was the timeline. The timeline is fucking ridiculous.
Right.
Okay. So according to the official story, based on the wounds that the kids received, the one in particular, because one was still alive when they got there, I think. It's a bit muddly looking at the first responders.
Yeah.
It seems like the kid was alive, but basically they worked it out that the time frame means that just double check. According to the official story, this timeline shows that based on the average time a child with the injuries would survive, based on the father's testimony and the first responders who attempted to save him, it breaks down to the fact that there is no way around this within the official story, that within 2 minutes, she would have had to stab the sons, head for the garage, step through a slit in the window screen, jump a back fence, run barefoot down an alley for 75 yards, drop a bloody sock, run 75 yards back to the house barefooted, stab herself, clean up the blood around the sink where she stabbed herself, and then stage whatever crime scene was left to be staged before the first responders arrived. 2 minutes to do all that.
Yeah, I get you.
But there is more.
Okay.
There is more, my friend. The jury were also not told the witnesses in the area stated that a person matching the attacker's description was seen around the time of the attack. They were told the witnesses stated they'd seen a car seemingly watching various houses in the weeks before, including the Routier's house.
Right.
This is a witness testimony, as we know it's a bit. But another one stated that someone attempted to get into her house in the same area, and what she saw of them matched the possible attackers. But lastly, and my favourite bit of evidence from this, fucking great. Lastly, the thing that out of everything that's so far, what's making you think? But that doesn't make sense. She obviously did it. Anything to do with, getting into the house?
Well, yeah, it was the sort of, why would you go in and then tear the fucking thing open? To me, that was the main one.
Yeah, because we know that because they found a bread knife with the fibres on it.
Yeah.
That was in the house. Okay, the fibres on the knife, the key evidence that shows the attacker must have come from inside the house to open the slide door. Wow, it was discovered. I don't know why I say it like that. It was discovered that the fibres believed to be from the screen door on the knife were also consistent with the fibres found on the brushes that the police used to dust for fingerprints.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
All discovered after the trial. She somehow remains on death row until this day, 20 odd years later. Recently interviewed, as I said at the beginning, by Susanna Reid on ITV for that show. No motive, no evidence, no confession, no witnesses, and now evidence that actually points to the opposite and corroborates her story. At the very least, she should get a retrial, as far as I'm concerned. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, that's there's reasonable doubt. You can't have someone on death row with reasonable doubt.
Mhm.
End of story. This is the reason why I think, for the vast majority of time, capital punishment is just a dumbass idea. You know what I mean? Because you there don't get me wrong. There may well be occasions when people can argue a point, but you have to be absolutely certain that that person did that thing. And in the vast majority of cases, you cannot be that certain.
No, I was about to say maybe if you get a confession, but then the amount of stories of coerced confessions, then no, that's even that. Maybe if you're ongoingly confessing consistently for a couple of years, I don't know. Why would you do that?
A confession with proof attached to it is, with evidence attached to the confession. That's good. That works. But just a confession by itself, yeah, it's good, but it shouldn't be just, oh, well, that's absolutely the case then.
Yeah.
We know that coercion exists, as you say. Yeah, that's fucked, man. That's a weird ass story.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. Open-ended. And Jesus Christ, though, what an opener. God damn.
It's fucking, yeah, man. When I remember watching it, I was watching it on it just popped up on that ITV thing. Mom put ITV on and I looked and I was watching it and they mentioned the sock and I was like, I'm sure I've seen this story somewhere. I had a look on it. It's on that chapter. He probably does a much better job at explaining it than me, but it's on that YouTube channel. I very much recommend that. Anyone that heard that story and liked it later on, after we've done Nathan's story, check it out with that chapter.
Hell yeah.
Actually, I think from what you said to me about the name, I think your one might be on there too, actually. So definitely wait up, yeah.
Almost certainly is, yeah. This one's very well known. Yeah.
I recognise the name. But whenever you're ready, my friend.
Yeah, go straight into it. Okay, so this is a sort of a tale of Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. It's a tale that involves Christopher Walken.
Yes. It is on there. This is a great story. Okay.
Yeah. And it is the death of Natalie Wood. So, Natalie Wood, if you don't know who she was a actress in America and was just huge at the time. I mean, she started acting at the age of 4. She co-starred in Miracle on 34th Street at the age of 8. She did loads of other films, like literally loads of films. Yeah. Well, I don't know if there was a remake of it, but yeah, she was in the Miracle on 34th Street at the age of 8. So
she was the main girl or not?
Yeah. She might well have been. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So basically, she goes through a few years. She's doing loads of films. She's building up her talent. She's getting more and more famous as it goes along. Then she marries Robert Wagner, right? Who is this huge star in a film, I think a series. Was it a series called Heart to Heart or a film called Heart to Heart, and loads of other things as well?
I don't know most of the details behind this, all the people other than Christopher Walken. So
yeah. But basically, they're at the time they were sort of like Brad and Angelina were back in the day, if you know what I mean, like that
what kind of time frame? Is it?
Oh, it was in the 80s, so we're talking 1981, 1982, that sort of era.
Yeah.
But basically, and sort of to cut to the chase, she ended up dying off the coast of an island while they were on holiday, and sort of freezing to death. Now, yeah, it's horrible. Well, not freezing to death, dying of hypothermia combined with drowning. So lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that ending to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'm even more.
But here's the thing.
My memory's terrible, man.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It all starts when they get aboard the boat, the Splendor. Now, on the weekend of November the 27th, 1981, they all decided to get together. So this is Robert Wagner, this is Natalie Wood, this is Christopher Walken.
I need more cowbell. I need more cowbell.
No, more cowbell. Yeah.
Oh, I need more
Yeah.
cowbell. I
Need
can't.
more cowbell. Have you got
You're the
more
voice,
cowbell?
You've got
Unfortunately,
just so you know, if there's any kind of quote by Christopher Walken involved in this, or if there's not, then you should totally make one up. I am waiting for the voice.
yeah, I'm not that great at walking, but I'll do my absolute best. Don't you worry. So yeah, we've got Robert Wagner, we've got Natalie Wood, we've got Christopher Walken, and we've got Dennis. Oh god damn it! I can't read my own writing. Duran or Durain. We'll get back to that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's the captain of the ship, and that's going to come important later on. Anyway, they sail to Catalina on the weekend of November 27th, and they anchor just off of Avalon, which is the main town on Catalina.
Okay.
They go shopping. They have a few beers. They're enjoying themselves. They're getting a bit pissed, and then they sail to Isthmus Cove, which is at the northern end of Catalina. They dined at a place called Doug's Harbour Reef, which is the only restaurant on the island at the time. I don't know if that's changed over the years, but at the time that was the only place. Eyewitnesses say at this point they were very drunk, but also Wood was acting volatile.
Okay.
So we're sort of getting a picture of, people are getting a bit rough and rowdy. It's worth mentioning at this point that Natalie Wood previously in her life had moments where she was sleeping with two producers in Hollywood at the same time, and they both hated each other and both knew about it, but both didn't want to say anything because they both liked Natalie Wood. And so she was known for sort of,
Well. Are you telling me that an attractive person made two people fight against each other for her own benefit? No.
Isn't it insane, Carl?
I don't believe it.
No, impossible. Impossible.
Not from an actress in Hollywood either.
So we have the eyewitnesses. We know that Wood was acting volatile. They end up having to warn the harbour master, the people who work in the town, to say, like, by the way, these people are out and about. They're going to be on boats. They're pissed as farts.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye. You know what I'm saying? At least someone was keeping an eye out for these people. That should have saved a life, but it didn't. So,
I think you need to know, though, straight away.
Yeah. At 10 p.m., they get back to the yacht, which is named the Splendor after one of their films that Natalie Wood was in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a quick
look. Sorry, what?
I'm just having a quick look at what she looks like while you.
Yeah. She's probably not what you think she's going to look like, but
how are you in my head, sir?
Yeah,
you're right. Though it totally didn't look like what I thought she was going to look like.
You're sort of expecting like a blonde bombshell, but actually she's more this sort of girl next door, almost like dark haired. If you know what I mean.
Wasn't now. I thought she was the girl. I thought we were saying she was the girl from Matilda in the film.
Oh no.
So yeah, my bad. Cool.
Right. So anyway, Natalie Wood goes to bed. This is according to the captain.
Okay.
Later, Wagner, as in Robert Wagner, goes to check on Natalie Wood and finds that she's missing, as is a dinghy, and
don't know what.
No idea. Just she's just gone. They don't really know what. It's just an accident. She's just gone.
It's just a dinghy just gone.
Yeah, just an accident, and she's just gone. Yeah, yeah. No one raises the alarm. No one goes to the port immediately. No one starts the engine of the yacht and starts looking for this woman. They're just she's gone.
So they just think that she's left on her own for some reason.
Yeah, and taken the dinghy with her and just sort of floated off. But
why have you wasted, as I said?
Yeah, but here's the fucked up bit. This is the bit you're going to have to remember for later, right? Because John Payne and Marilyn Wayne, interesting combination of names right there, on board the Capricorn yacht nearby, heard a woman yell, "Help! Someone please help me." Okay. Now, they thought that someone was playing around when they heard someone yell back, "Okay, honey, we'll get you." Okay?
What?
Later on, Natalie, the following day, is found floating face first in the water next to the dinghy in a cove.
Next to the dinghy as well?
Yeah, next to the dinghy.
I suppose they'd go the same way, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, of course, there's a police report, there's witness statements taken, all that kind of stuff happens. None of this is released to the public, but a notorious coroner, by the name of Thomas Noguchi, turns up and starts doing the job, trying to find out what happened. He says that there's light bruising and abrasion on the left cheek, and the cause of death is, of course, drowning. He notes as well that her blood alcohol level was at 0.14%, which was 0.4% above the driving limit in California at the time.
Is that a lot?
It's a fair bit.
How many drinks are we talking?
I mean, it's difficult to say, really, because I think it's different over here to where it was in LA in the 80s. I think in LA in the 80s, you could probably get a lot more pissed than you can here. I think for us, it's like 0.4.
But we're talking more like, it wouldn't have been like a couple of pints. We're talking more like half a bottle of vodka or something like that.
Yeah, this is the calculation I'm trying to do. Because if it's like 0.4 blood alcohol level here, and that's, say, a pint and a half, something like that, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe just a pint, I'm not sure, something like that. Then, yeah, she had a few. By this point. So, like, that's at least 5 or 6 for like a small girl as well. I'm not sure how, how big Natalie Wood was.
Everyone was smaller back then with frame.
Yeah, exactly. People were malnourished, and Christopher Walken was around.
Yeah, exactly. Cowbells. Look at my cowbells.
Complaining that there's no cowbells.
I hit it up high, but can't do that. Sounds like fucking William Shatner. That's what I'm doing.
This is
I'm doing Shatner.
Your father's watch. I hit it up my ass.
Fucking great.
Right.
I don't know if it's a great actor. It's just memorable.
Yeah. So post death.
Yeah.
November the 30th, 1981. Noguchi announces autopsy results. Okay. Now, bearing in mind, he's already in hot water for his handling of the death of William Holden, a previous celebrity of Los Angeles, who sort of basically died due to a horrendous accident while he was pissed. So apparently William Holden had been drinking vodka out of a bottle, and then he fell over, smashed the bottle, and cut himself open on the glass and just bled.
What?
Yeah, like, ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason you do not drink alone, and it is so that you do not die. Now, I'm doing it here, but I'm a professional and Carl's watching. So,
no, I don't know who this Carl is. I'm KD. What are you
oh my god. So, yeah. What happens in this scenario, though, which is you'd never get today, right? the entire of like the acting world, all of like SAG, after, well, I don't think AFTRA was around at that time, but all of the sort of the organizations around acting basically say, how fucking dare you? How dare you reveal this? This is gross to reveal this level of detail of someone's private life. How could you? How possibly could you?
Right, okay.
Like, Noguchi was genuinely shouted at by Frank Sinatra as well as SAG for revealing the fact that Holden would ever have been drunk enough to kill himself accidentally.
Okay, that's the part you want to focus on
now.
That story.
Yeah, imagine what Hello would do with a story like that. Imagine what The Sun would do with a story like that.
God.
They'd have a fucking page 3 themed to it, mate.
Oh God, I'm generally imagining that then. It'll be fucking horrendous with the stuff nowadays. We're going to clickbait around it too.
Exactly. They'd have like thumbnails with like knives over someone's face and blood coming out the throat and shit. Oh, it's ridiculous. Anyway,
we could do a podcast. Well, we are doing a podcast about it.
Yeah. So, ultimately, Noguchi has a theory, and also I do love this guy's name. It is spelt No Gooch-y. Just thought I'd say that. Man. Anyway, so Noguchi's theory. Sorry. Okay, so Noguchi's. Yeah, it's weird to think no gooch.
I kept thinking of like just a couple of fistulas that you mentioned, one after another.
Yeah. Just 2 holes like a horrible cloaca.
Or the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The theory is that Wood falls in the water trying to board the dinghy. The fingernail scratches on the side of the dinghy indicate that she tried to climb aboard but was impeded by a waterlogged down jacket she was wearing, which at no point she tried to take off. Weird.
It'd be warm there as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That like once you're in the water, that warmth disappears, doesn't it? So it's just going to sort of waterlog you down and cool you off. So anyway, she clings to the now errant dinghy, and she succumbed to hypothermia and drowned. She literally is just stuck in the middle of the ocean at night. She just cannot survive.
Yeah.
Now, however, as one of Noguchi's team asked, what reporters are really interested in Dr. Noguchi isn't so much whether Natalie Wood was intoxicated or not, but why she left the yacht in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Bearing in mind, he hasn't asked this question at all to begin with. So, Noguchi is forced. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so yeah, the question is, that's what I was thinking, like, why has she left the yacht and gone to try and do that anyway? Not how it happened.
Exactly. It's not natural human behavior, is it? It's like in the middle of the night to just leave the yacht for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Also worth mentioning that Natalie Wood had said on many occasions that she loved being near the water. She loved being on the water. She loved watching the water, but she hated being in the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like me with spiders.
So there's no real point she would have gone out swimming. She wouldn't have chosen to do that. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it makes no sense anyway. If you're going to do it, what you do it then?
Yeah, at that time of the night.
On, fully clothed.
Yeah. So, Noguchi commissions a psychological autopsy, as he calls it, a report on the real facts, and this is what the actual report is called, on the real facts of the death of Natalie Wood, was not released to the public by Noguchi, calling aspects of it gory and sensational, and filed it away.
Right. Okay.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
it's worth mentioning at this point that Noguchi isn't actually completely separate from these people at all. Noguchi is friends with a woman who is on set with Robert Wagner constantly on the set of Heart to Heart.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got this woman connected to Noguchi. Noguchi is therefore connected to Robert Wagner, right?
And he must have been very much connected to Natalie Wood because that's how marriage works.
So Noguchi doesn't release this report saying it's sensational, doesn't try and say any extra information, and it still doesn't save his job because, as I say, Frank Sinatra and SAG, among others, accused him of sensationalizing his duties, and on April 27th, 1982, he was promptly demoted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Returning to the case, however, in a book he later called Coroner, saying, wasn't it strange the two men on the boat didn't even know that she had left the boat? Hadn't she spoken to them? Why had she stepped out of the stern of the yacht in the middle of the night, climbed down a ladder and untied the dinghy? What was she doing? And where was she going? And why? Interesting
question.
enough. Well, it's true. And also, when she first fell off the swimming step into the water, why didn't she simply swim back a few strokes to save herself?
Once again, a very good point.
Yeah. But didn't provide any plausible answers.
I could imagine she probably couldn't swim as well, maybe.
Well, maybe, but she I don't think there's any proof of that. Supposedly she could swim, she just didn't like the water that much.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's gone from saying like, "Oh, this is all sensationalized crap. This is impossible. This can't happen," to suddenly like, "Well, maybe." Hang on, Jesus Christ.
Okay, I see. Okay, yeah.
I've got to mute something here because it won't shut up.
Oh, people normally say about me. I have mute this fucker.
There we go. Right. Okay. So, where was I? Yeah. So Noguchi was connected to Wagner. Wagner was connected to his co-star. All this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we've also got this guy finally going like, "Oh well, maybe it wasn't so great. Maybe it wasn't a smart idea." As soon as this fucking opportunity to stay amongst the stars has disappeared.
Yeah, I missed that. I didn't. That's interesting. Indicator. He's like, he had fair questions in the end, but he was saying the opposite before. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because he just wanted to, remain part of the cool crowd potentially.
Oh, yeah,
potentially,
Yeah. Get some exposure.
Yeah. So anyway, Wagner's statement at this point, right, was sorry, what was I saying? I'm losing my place here constantly. Sorry, man.
No, don't worry. I'm there with you.
So yeah, Wagner's statement was that it was all happy till a freak accident. Happy. Do you not remember? Sorry?
So I was reading a comment that we've had. I'll mention it in a minute. But what were you saying again then?
Yeah. So happy. I don't think that makes a lot of sense, considering when we think about where we started and they were going out, they were getting pissed, they were starting to shout, the harbour master was having to be called.
Yeah.
We've already had, all these different situations saying it's not necessarily the greatest situation for Natalie Wood to be in, but it was all fine and happy until freak accident Natalie Wood falls off.
Yeah.
Not sure
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 years later, Walken said, and this is the first statement he gave on it, apart from there was an interview shortly afterwards where he was basically just sort of saying, it's terrible that she died. She was, that kind of stuff.
I'm happy now.
Yeah.
Just so I know, though, do we not have
Yeah.
any idea of testimonies they gave at the time for what happened on the night?
this is exactly the thing. We're about to get there. So this is 2 years later. What Walken said. He goes, the people who were convinced that there was something more to it than what came out in the investigation will never be satisfied with the truth.
That was very good.
Mediocre. Other than that, both have remained completely silent on the matter.
Okay.
However, the captain, Dennis DeVerne, claims he has always believed something more sinister had occurred, saying his statement was sanitized, incomplete, and at points downright false.
Okay.
However, got to say that Dennis DeVerne did use this as an opportunity to appear on TV, get various talk shows, sing, that kind of stuff. But he could be trying to draw attention to it at the same time. Yeah.
The two are mutually exclusive. Yeah. Definitely.
Exactly.
And that's what I do in that situation.
Yes. Okay. Now, most of this information was taken from Vanity Fair.
Okay. Yeah.
At one point, Vanity Fair, after this, had a look at the copy of the police report, and all statements, including Walken's, it tended to back up Dennis DeVerne's story and not Robert Wagner's.
So the actual testimonies from the time.
The actual police report state things that do not appear in the official statements at all.
Okay.
Including statements from people who were on the shores who were going like, oh yeah, it wasn't that great. They were having shouts and all this kind of stuff. From Christopher Walken himself saying, it wasn't so easy. There was Robert Wagner's one himself, not as smooth as everything seemed to be. And Dennis DeVerne's specifically saying that his was sanitized and at some points downright false.
I hope you're not trying to imply that before the time of the internet, there's a chance that a Hollywood company would try and change the narrative.
Absolutely not. But we do have to remember one missing piece of this story, and that is John Payne and Marilyn Wayne. Now, what statement did we get from...
Who were they again?
Oh, these were the people on board the Capricorn, the yacht nearby. And we combine that with the statement by Noguchi, saying, wasn't it strange the two men on the boat didn't even know she had left the boat? Hadn't she spoken to them? Why hadn't she stepped out of the stern of the yacht in the middle of the night, climbed down the ladder and untied the dinghy? What was she doing? And where was she going? And why? Wasn't it strange the two men on the boat didn't even know she had left the boat? Meanwhile, John Payne and Marilyn Wayne on board the Capricorn heard a woman yell, "Help me, someone. Please help me," and heard a reply of, "Okay, honey, we'll get you."
That's creepy, that one. That's the creepy bit. Especially, it would be even worse if it was in Walken's voice, but I imagine it'd be in Wagner's in that case then. But
yeah, it's got to be Wagner's in that case. Yeah, but I mean,
that's
that's the connection for me there. You've got this evidence of these people. You've got these other people, and Wagner's statement itself says, "Oh yeah, I just went to sleep and suddenly she wasn't there anymore."
Oh, okay.
And yet we've got these two people saying, "Oh no, I heard someone say, 'Okay, honey, we'll get you.'"
Yeah, it's not looking very good for Mr. Wagner.
But neither of them have served time. Neither of them have ever seen anything happen.
I mean, here's the thing I was thinking. I was like, it doesn't look very good for Mr. Wagner or for Christopher Walken. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure Christopher Walken have not spent the last 20 years in prison for murder.
In jail? No, not at all. So it seems to be going pretty fucking well.
Something went pretty well for them, yeah.
Now, whether all this is just coincidence, we can't be sure. But that seems fucked to me.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't there something as well about the about Natalie and the captain leaving the day before to go and have a drink to themselves because she just couldn't be asked to deal with Wagner and Walken or something, and Wagner was getting jealous of Walken or something as well.
And again, we've already got these previous things of Natalie sort of trying to play guys up against each other, trying to sort of get
of course.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a crime of passion, or maybe it's sort of a prank gone wrong or a punishment gone wrong. Like, I'm going to throw you overboard, and intending to pick her back up again or something.
Just,
and then
a lot of overreaction is probably like they were drunk as well, and she did it a bit too much. She got a bit too angry and then very much overreacted and threw her off board, or maybe threw the boat in recovery. I don't know, but something somewhere.
Or maybe the down, or maybe she was sort of knocked out as she went down, and the down was there, and they tried to get the dinghy. I mean, we don't know.
And there's a good chance as well, you know, even now when a body's been in the water for a while, though, I mean, it probably hadn't been. It was like a day, wasn't it? At this point, then she got found.
Yeah, a few hours. Yeah.
So, but I mean, even like a post-mortem back in the early 80s, I can imagine autopsies may not necessarily show if she had like.
Especially when you got a guy like Noguchi on the job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Somewhere along the line.
Yeah, something's going to get missed. Something's going to get missed or lost intentionally. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Missed. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh, that was a good one. I like that, though. Yeah.
That's the story of Natalie Wood.
That is a very good one, man. And it's one of them.
It could only be more better with more cowbell.
More cowbell. I'm going to practice that. KD Claus will have to give it a go for you tomorrow. Wednesday. That's tomorrow, is it? Yeah, Wednesday. Fucking hell, I thought then. I was like, shit, you know what? No, I should probably get the questions ready, shouldn't I?
Oh, shit.
Probably should.
Yeah, probably.
You know how I work. I'm a late go. I do all this shit last minute, man.
Well, I did all this shit last minute as well. It worked out.
That was very fun. I really enjoyed that for the first live Kill the Move comedy. I'm assuming was at the end of it, like all the stuff then.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I mean, ultimately, there's no real ending to that one. We can't ever truly know what happened.
There never will be.
No, but I mean,
let's
story and half, isn't it?
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, thinking about it, you know, would you really be surprised, like, not just you, but anyone watching, would you guys really be surprised to find out, you know, that the Hollywood studios would cover something up? There's another story about the company that became Paramount, I think, in the 20s, possibly covering up a murder.
Yeah. In the 20s, it happened all the time. There was, I can't remember which one it was, but there was a dude on a boat with, like, all of the Hollywood elite. Someone whose like girl was trying to make out with this guy or something on this boat.
Yeah,
dude literally shoots him, kills him on the boat. Everyone was like, well, are we going to let this ruin the party? No, throw him overboard, start drinking again.
Oh, is that what happened?
Shit you not.
Oh, well, the guy that got shot, they threw him overboard.
Yeah.
Oh,
threw the guy overboard and just fucking started drinking. Fuck it.
There was me thinking the people revolted and were like, fuck you, Mr. Celebrity Man, shooting him. I'm going to throw you overboard. But no,
they were all celebrities as well. Yeah, they were all celebrities as well, all in on it. And that's the thing, like, that's such a toxic level of like gang culture almost, if you know what I mean. It's fucking weird.
I think there's a lot of toxic stuff within any like culture. You know, you always meet people. You like to think that it's not the case, but when you get into it, you do for a bit. You meet people that just kind of want to put other people down.
Yeah, it happens quite a lot, unfortunately.
I was getting
more and more recently as well. Annoying.
Yeah,
but, you know.
I was going to do a whole spiel then about the In Your House episode 26 on Thursday. Hopefully with that comedian, if he does join me for a realistic chat, but he ain't going to come anyway. That ain't going to happen. I guarantee you he won't appear.
Okay.
yeah, that was more. Oh yeah, as well though. But if anyone, people comment as well, because if anyone's surprised or thinks that maybe like a Hollywood company wouldn't do that, so I'm interested to see how people actually think about that, because it's fun.
Oh yeah,
to talk.
What was that comment? What was the comment about?
What comment? Oh yeah.
It better be someone saying I look fucking handsome.
I don't know. There's a few
Hope
more.
it's not just some Russian porn bot.
You
like Vladimir? I give you hard, good labia.
There you go. Look.
Hey!
It was actually this one that the same dude put on that I was looking at. How is this comedy?
It's not comedy.
It's not comedy.
It's sort of a podcast.
It's only comedy in the sense we're comedians talking about depressing shit.
Yeah.
That's how it's comedy. And thank you to Shannon Jane Simpson for the awesome as well that came through earlier. Thank you for that.
Cheers.
And for the likes and hearts as well. Much love, everyone. You can catch both of us though again, as I said before. I might be there for the beginning, and then I will quickly introduce the good old fashioned, the one and only KD Claus, as he hosts the 20th KD's Comedian Quiz Off, the Christmas special. We will be joined by a variety of different people: Eric Manza, Alex Plant, Greg Phillips, yourself, Nathan Parish, and the first ever female Quiz Off champion, Miss Tegan Marlowe. That will be this Wednesday at 7 p.m. You can watch it wherever you are watching this right now.
Hell yeah.
But other than that, though, please drop any comments. Let us know where you're watching it and all that. If you're watching it on repeat. I don't know what else. I'll probably forget something to say. But do you want to drop some of your stuff in about your thing, my man, as well?
Hell yeah, I do. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find my sketch show, Post-Apocalyptic Metal Treehouse, anywhere you want to listen to podcasts. You can listen to it on SoundCloud. You can listen to it on iTunes. You can listen to it on Spotify. You can listen to it on Stitcher. If you've got more suggestions about where to put it on, I'll do that too. I'll put it on a toaster. I'll play it like Skyrim, bitch. Anyway. If you want to listen to Post-Apocalyptic Metal Treehouse, it's a sketch show that I made, all me. I wrote it. I play all the voices. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. You'll love it. You'll love it, darling.
I will say as well, for anyone that wants to check it out, it's just fucking good, basically. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Episode 4 is on the way soon, and episode 5 will follow it shortly. I've had a big-ass break writing stuff. I'm nearly there, man. I'm nearly there.
So once you've checked out episode 1 to 3, I would suggest as well going on to the KD Comedy channel, checking out the In Your House podcast that me and you did. I think it was on episode 20, like 5 weeks ago or something now. And I believe at the beginning of that, there was a little sneak peek of episode 4. Because right at the beginning when you started writing it. So
yeah, that's the 3-part sketch. You'll find out. You'll find out what happens to that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the guys talking in that bit, he's got more that happens.
Okay, I'm very interested in that case then.
Yeah, man.
But other than that then, man, Nathan, thank you very much as always for coming.
No problem, my friend.
I think the next time thinking about doing this now will be probably the second Monday of January, I imagine, depending on how it works out. But I will, of course, let you all know via all these things that you've seen already. And you will see things coming up because you have a few other things coming up as well. In the meantime, I can make a little announcement. We have a comedian poker. What's it fucking called? The Poker Jokers. The Poker Jokers show will be coming very soon with a few different people.
Sweet.
Yeah, playing poker online. I have been working with Griff. Making up all the stuff we have.
Yeah, you mentioned a few bits to me. Unfortunately, I can't help do anything because
because you actually work as well. To be fair,
yeah.
I have a bit more free time than you, but So
I want free time now. I used to have so much of it. I miss it.
I don't know if I'd even count me having free time in it, because most of the time it's making this shit anyway, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You got to fill it up with all this.
Exactly, yeah, man. And other than that as well, there would be a KD and Griff's comedian Christmas dinner that I'll be shooting on Friday with a couple of comedians. Griff, who is also a comedian and a chef, me and him will be preparing a Christmas meal for two of the comedians. We will all be sitting down in person, but very spaced out in the common room by me. We have a huge table. We can space out, do it all properly, all safely. Yeah, there'll be more details about that coming very soon.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But like we said then, see you guys on Wednesday for Katie's Comedian Quiz Off 20, the Christmas special. But thank you from me, and I guess thank you
from me as well.
There we go. I never know how to end these things. But thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Cheers, guys.